Becky, what's your underrated ride at Walt Disney World?
Country Bears Jamboree.
Oh,
God. I was going to say.
Worst attraction on the face of the planet.
Pat might say that one.
I was going to say it. Damn it.
No, the buttons don't do an interactive thing on the actual screen. And the screen could be upgraded to something more HD.
Could be.
Not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
Welcome, Walt Disney World fans, to another episode of the Notcast presented by NotClub33.com. This week on the show, we're talking underrated rides at Walt Disney World. My name is Steve Rhodes. I've got Pat Neistat here today.
What's up?
Becky Wells here.
What's up?
And from the Cynics on Disney podcast, Bobby Burchins.
Now wave your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all the pimp shit, then everybody say, oh yeah, you're. That was a terrible ATL.
Nicely.
Who am I kidding?
Very good. Very good. But
terrible.
The Outcast always flies here on the show, so we'll accept it.
Approved.
Well, guys, topic for today, underrated rides that don't get a lot of press and people talking about them, all the fanfare. Ones that you could necessarily pretty much just not walk on to, but wait, say, under an hour or whatever for most times of the year or of the day or that you're there at Disney World. These are rides that just kind of get slept on. So I guess I'll go ahead and start because I don't think anybody's going to say this one. But what I'm the kind of the ballpark that I'm going for here is something like the safari over at Animal Kingdom, the Kilimanjaro safaris. You don't really have a long line for that ever. It's one of those things that people aren't fighting on. Everybody wants to talk about everything over in Pandora, rightfully so, or Expedition Everest. But this one it just takes you away like into another country. You think that you're another continent, really. I mean, you would think you were in Africa if you just got dropped out in the middle of the thing, and it's just a really cool experience. One that I love to do, but one that doesn't necessarily get, I think, a lot of praise. So,
yeah.
I mean,
that's mine.
I disagree with you, especially early morning, because anytime that you try to rope drop Animal Kingdom, that is probably the busiest line of all, because that's when the animals are the most active. Apparently, is in the morning.
Flight of Passage is ridiculous. It's wrapped around outside of Pandora all the way onto the walkway to Africa.
This is my fault
ridiculous
for not going to Animal Kingdom as often as I should as a pass holder. But also, like I said, every time that I do go, I notice an hour, 20 hour, 30-minute wait time for Kilimanjaro. That's just me.
The safari is not super short.
It's not an unpopular ride. I don't think it's certainly to your point.
Would
though,
you say
it's
that,
not? It's kind of underrated for what's new there, especially. I think it's
would you
lost
say
a little luster because of that.
That's like a next generation ride of the Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, I mean, it's what
Becky?
Obviously.
I'm sorry.
No, that's a better question for Becky to answer because she's a huge Jungle Cruise fan. So I'll let
They
you go.
initially had their script and their spiel was very similar. They were allowed to have a lot more in there, and then that changed, and now they can't add as much, and they had to go much more to book. And they have a lot of things they can pull from, but they don't get
with the live animals as opposed to animatronics.
Oh, yeah, that is
is that what Walt wanted? The Jungle Cruise to be originally?
Yeah,
that was the original vision, and he tried it for like a day before it opened, and then realized it was a terrible plan. So.
You can't put live animals that close to people.
Not in the way he was thinking. No.
Yeah,
I mean, from what I've read, I obviously can't ask him and don't know for sure.
I mean, to me, that attraction is not underrated. Probably might be to a lot of people just because people think Animal Kingdom is a zoo for whatever reason, and that probably contributes to it. But that ride, to me, is amazing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that it's not amazing. Clearly, it's amazing to me, but I think it just doesn't get the hype that and I'm okay with that because it's easier for me to go stand in a line for 20 to 30 minutes and get right on it versus waiting 2 hours for something that, clearly it's like a 30-minute ride. I mean, you end up on there, you really get what you pay for, as far as weight's concerned, because your weight can be less length than the actual ride itself.
Do you think it's that reason, because people think Animal Kingdom is a zoo and you're just kind of seeing animals and they don't really understand exactly what it is?
I think that has a lot to do with it. A lot of people skip Animal Kingdom altogether just because they think it's just a zoo. And then when you say, hey, there's a safari with animals, they think they're just going to see, animals in cages like they do at their local yokel zoo. Mm-hmm. And it's not like that. It's you're riding through a savannah, for God's sakes. It's really well done.
I think that Pandora and Expedition Everest opening up after the fact kind of made it lose its luster more so than it does the whole zoo thing, because I think you're right though that like more people are prone to skip Animal Kingdom altogether if they think of it as a zoo. But once you get in there, I think that the hype of the newer stuff is what's drawing maybe more crowds away from it. That's just me personally.
And then there's always Dino Land. So
you make fun of that, okay? And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and jump in, Steve, because that is my underrated ride. Countdown to Extinction. It's a pretty damn good.
You mean Dinosaur?
Well, whatever. Dinosaur Countdown to Extinction. It's what it was called originally. Who cares? Point is that it's actually a pretty cool ride. It's got I guess a fearsome or fearless antagonist in the Carnotaurus. It's not. I mean, they can't use the Tyrannosaurus, I guess, because of Jurassic Park or whatever, and rights issues or some shit with Universal. But like,
well, I thought it was in the movie that they had, and that's where they
that too. I guess, but I don't know which came first, the ride or the movie. I think the movie came after the ride, actually. Anyway, the attraction itself is still pretty fun. I mean, it's a bumpy ass ride. You do get a nice little jump scare at the end where my wife hides from the giant plastic dinosaur. So, and that's always fun to look at the end of it. But that it's a pretty short wait, and like consistently, I would say like half an hour or less. And I don't know the exact reason why, because it is kind of like a thrill ride. It's the exact same attraction as Indiana Jones out in California, with with the dinosaur theme instead of Indiana Jones, obviously. So I guess like I don't understand why that doesn't get nearly the hype of an attraction, because I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything over there, but that.
There's nothing else over there besides the boneyard for the kids now.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
And even before that, the Dino Land USA was garbage even when it had all the rides there. So you were basically just going over there for that one ride, way off the beaten path. Yeah. So it just kind of that's probably exactly why people just didn't want to walk over there when there's way more stuff in the other side.
Way
of the park.
More stuff, like three stuff, 4 stuff, but. What's the future of that dinosaur ride, though? I mean, they've taken out the other roller coaster that was over there, Primeval World, and it looks like they're going to be doing something with that area.
Well, that's.
I don't know.
I mean, I got to think with dinosaurs as a theme that there's plenty of things that the Jurassic Park franchise hasn't I mean, yeah, because I think that they want to stick with the whole prehistoric, realistic, and fantasy, and they've already done the fantasy stuff with Avatar.
Couldn't they add another country like South America over there?
Well, I don't know if you know this. They already. I mean, it's actually Wakanda. You just can't see it.
If they did that, it would be cool.
It's with the cloaking shield.
It's just already there.
You just can't see it.
You just don't know.
Becky, what's your underrated ride at Walt Disney World?
Country Bears Jamboree.
Oh,
just kidding.
I was gonna say
worst attraction on the face of the planet.
Pat might say that one.
I was gonna say it. Damn it!
Should have gone first. This is such a hard one. Don't know what one I would go on. Like, I'm only waiting for the rides I want to wait for anyway. But what I think people don't necessarily know of that is kind of a hidden gem can be, or they, even if they do know it but don't want to get on it, like I like the 2 Toy Story rides, like not, I'm sorry, let me be specific. Midway Mania, or Toy Story Mania, sorry.
Yeah.
And Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, like I know it's ridiculous.
No,
but
not
it's
ridiculous.
amazing.
Buzz Lightyear is pretty underrated.
No.
And they move pretty fast most of the time, so there may be a wait, but those are awesome. So to me, those are underrated because people are like, it needs to be updated. I'm not disagreeing, but it's still fun, even if your shit's broken.
Buzz definitely needs a coat of paint and some tightening of the screws.
It's just being fun. Yeah. So that's mine, because I'm happy with people not going on those rides because I'll go on it back to back. It's just open.
Slinky Dog Dash really helped out over at Toy Story Mania for sure. It thinned the herd over there, so it's a much easier ride to get on without waiting 4 hours in the sun than it used to be. And Buzz moves quick, so. Yeah. Pat?
Yep. Oh, so here we go. My underrated ride is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. No, I'm joking.
You think that's underrated?
Okay, so mine is in Magic Kingdom. It's Hall of Presidents. I think Hall of Presidents is a fantastic celebration of the American president. And I understand people nowadays are just so political that it kind of seeps into, I don't want to see him, or I don't want to see him. But it's a great show. It's air conditioning. I'm not going to say you're going to learn anything from it, but I think it's just really well done. The animatronics are really well done, and I try to go every time. If I haven't seen a president, I like to see, the next president or whatever have his speech or whatever. So that's
a good one because you won't face any crowds to get in there anymore.
And the cool thing is the queue and everything has some like really cool like pictures of like Abraham Lincoln and I don't know. So
much different than 20 years ago. As a kid, there used to be when I was a kid, there used to be a wait for that ride. Well, not a ride, but attraction,
right?
Because it was a little bit more popular back then. But I think the hyper political society we live in now makes it not so these days. But definitely, if you want some AC and see some cool animatronics,
and you can take a nap too.
That's a plus. You could.
That can also be said about Carousel of Progress. They literally did that for the show.
I think that's a little underrated.
I don't think that one's the nap part. Yeah, the nap part. Yeah.
You don't think Carousel of Progress is underrated? I mean, because there's hardly ever.
No, I think it's overrated personally. But
I think it's underrated.
That's
you think it's underrated?
One attraction.
I think it's
that I.
Yeah, but I couldn't say that after Country Bears because then you'd think I was kidding again.
One attraction that I know
it was rated properly,
that I know is underrated, and you guys always give me hell for it, even though it is my second favorite attraction at Disney World. It's Mission Space.
Oh God,
it is. I mean, like it's always got a 30-minute wait, so you never wait that long. It does have the orange version does have a thrilling experience. It does give you G-forces. No, the buttons don't do an interactive thing on the actual screen, and the screen could be upgraded to something more HD.
Could be.
Not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. Okay, what I'm saying is that the actual experience of the attraction, from a motion simulator's standpoint, from a G-forces standpoint, you won't get even those kinds of G-forces on Rock and Roller Coaster, and that is definitely moving attraction compared to Mission Space, which is just spinning. So I kind of feel like that deserves another shout out there because it is woefully underattended compared to the experience that I feel like.
Yeah, I guess it's underrated.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
because I feel like it could be so like it just could be so much better.
I don't disagree with you, but
it's lacking in entertainment value. That's for sure. But that being said, to Bobby's point, it does do some things that other rides don't, with the G-forces and the whole concept behind it, and the fact that you can nowadays do that. I mean, 30 minutes, it probably is not even that long these days.
Was there on Saturday, was in and out in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a thrill ride, there you go. Now, Whether or not it's entertaining,
It's entertaining to me.
For another show. That's another debate for another show, which happens to be next week when we'll continue our underrated series. We'll talk about underrated restaurants right here on the Notcast, so tune in for that. Get subscribed, hit those notifications so you know when that post hits, which will be 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time on Friday. Smack that like button. That lets YouTube know that this was a good video and helps us in that algorithm. We'll see you guys next Friday right here on the Notcast. Peace out.